I remember the first time I took a student through the levels of the Piano Adventures series as a brand new teacher. When we got to the end of the orange book, level 2B, there were all these pages in the back with these scales and chords. The student had finished all the materials, but now we had all of these technical pages left at the end of the book that I did not plan for. Hey, if you're new around here, I'm Phoenix and I'm the Tattooed Piano Teacher. Today I'm going to give you the advice about what to do with those warm-up pages in the Level 2B Piano Adventures lesson book that I wish I would have had when I started teaching. And if you've been teaching out of the Piano Adventures series for a while, then also stick around because I'm going to give you all the different options on exactly how to use these pages, when to use these pages, and maybe give you some fresh ideas to change things up a little bit. I'll let you know how each strategy has worked for me. So option number 1 on what to do with the final pages of the Level 2B lesson book in the Piano Adventures series. Well, you could ignore them, and I'm sure there are teachers who do this. After all, they are labeled as the challenge section, right? Which kind of makes them feel optional. So what if you just ignore them? What if you just learn all the songs and then graduate the book, go on to the next level? Well, if you ignore them completely, you will find that your students who go into level 3A are really going to struggle, particularly with those 4-chord and 5/7 chord shapes. They will also lose out on having that exposure to all 24 key signatures in the 5-finger variation, and that is not going to serve them in the long run. I do not recommend just ignoring these pages. So let's try option 2. Option 2 is we could just learn those pages when they come up at the end of the book, which is what I ended up doing when I first started as a teacher. Now this can work because at least they're still learning them, but if you save them for the end of their level 2B experience, then they're just like bogged down with too much technique all at once. And some students need a lot of time to settle into these chord shapes, like moving from the 1 chord to the 4 chord with both hands together. Some students do it like they've been doing it their whole lives. Other students really struggle with this, keep using the wrong fingers, keep landing on the wrong notes, and you don't really know until they get into these chord patterns in the back of the book how they're going to be as far as how quickly they're going to learn all of these pages. So yes, you could wait until the end and then just start assigning these pages like you would any other page in the lesson book, but your student could take forever to get through these pages, potentially. They could get discouraged with all of these technique things with no songs. And thirdly, you and your student might be tempted to rush through them because like we're almost done with this book, we want to get through these, and they might not really solidify as scale and chord shapes in the student's muscle memory. So option 2, I do not recommend leaving them till the end of the level to learn them. Okay, so how about option 3? How about, and this is something I tried when I was a beginning teacher too, how about we just start those pages right away? When the student starts the level, as soon as you hand them those orange books, assign them the last pages. We're going to start them right away to make sure we have plenty of time to get through them. Smart idea. Very wise. Now, the problem with this option is that they haven't yet been introduced to the full 5/7 shape. They haven't yet been introduced to the full 4-chord shape. So unless they are like a chord prodigy, which sometimes they are probably going to struggle to get through the chord line on the challenge section in the back if you start it right away in the book. Okay, so possibility, but for many students might discourage them because it's going to be too hard, too fast on the scales. So I do not recommend throwing your student into the deep end at the beginning of their level 2B experience and assigning all those pages at the back. Okay, so it's pretty obvious that our first 3 options are not my favorite. If you haven't been able to tell already, I would not recommend any of those options. Now, it's not like there's only one right option. There's actually a few options that can work successfully and that I've used with my own students. So the option number 4, 5, and 6, stick around because any of these 3 can work and it's up to you to just choose which one works best for you and your student. So now the good options. Option number 4 is to start halfway through the book. So when you get halfway through the lesson book, then you start the challenge section in the back and you work simultaneously with the back kind of as the warm-up or the technique work and the middle of the lesson book as the main lesson. So you just kind of flag both of them with some Post-its or something like that and work simultaneously. About half of the lesson book or the level time should be enough to make it through those 6 pages of the challenge section in the back. So here's an example of what this might look like for a student. So let's say the student is coming out of the level 2A, the blue book, and going into the level 2B, the orange book. You can keep them working on the adventure warm-up from the blue book, which hopefully they know, until they're ready to add something new. So basically at the beginning of the 2B, the orange book, the student is still utilizing the warm-up that they learned in the blue book, which is the adventure warm-up. For students that are really ready for it, by page 10, I will have them drop the blue book adventure warm-up, and then I will have them incorporate the cross-hand arpeggio as their new warm-up. Usually they learn this pretty fast and they like doing it, so they're happy to ditch the adventure warm-up finally. So we keep working our way through the lesson book. When we get to page 21, this is where they are introduced to the 1 octave C major scale. This is a new technical skill for them. They are learning how to cross the thumb under or over to get the full octave scale. Once we get to this point, then that is where I will add the back of the book starting with page 66. So as they're learning the C major 1 octave scale, they will start their warm-up as page 66, which is the C and the G scale and chord patterns. So now they are letting go finally of the crosshand arpeggio and replacing that with the back pages. And then every student is different. From page 66, you're going to add on from the C and the G as the student is ready to do so. Some students need to spend forever on the C chords before they get that movement to the 4 chord down, or that movement to the 5/7 chord. So you might spend a month just on the C major pattern before you're ready to add on another one. But the good news is once they get that shape with their hands, then it's basically the same for the rest of them. They just have to remember where the black keys are incorporated. So be patient and don't get discouraged if they stay with page 66 only for a really long time. Once they get that momentum, they'll be on track. Now, option number 5 is also a good one. This would be to utilize page 66 through 71 right away in level 2B, but to alter them to give your students a more gradual approach. So you could start them off on page 66 right away, but only have them play the scale line. So not even playing the chords at all. So basically this is just recycling what they learned in the adventure warm-up for all of the different key signatures. So they're only playing the scales at first. Then when you feel like they are ready to try, the next thing they'll try somewhere along their journey in level 2B book would be the right hand chords for C major alone, only right hand. And then you just take that. If they're not ready for that, then drop it. If they're doing well with it, then try the left hand by itself. And when they're ready, put those together. And then once they get the C major chord pattern hands together, then you know you're ready to start rolling with the full pattern with the chords on all of them. And you just take it at that student's own pace. Every student will be different. So the gradual approach, altering the pages in the back so that you can start utilizing them right away. I've got one more option for you that I have been using more often than not lately. Before I give you option number 6, be sure to hit that like button. If you like piano teacher tips, hearing about piano methods and different ideas, I would welcome you to hit that subscribe button and become part of our little piano teacher community here on YouTube. So option number 6 that I've been using recently is to replace the back pages with something similar but more comprehensive that I actually created myself. So in an effort to make the most comprehensive warm-up patterns, technical patterns possible, I actually created my own. I go back and forth between calling them scale packs or warm-up packs. I don't know, there's scales and warm-ups all together, but basically I have one for level 2 that covers a section for level 2A, and then it expands for level 2B, and I have them in level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. I will link those down below. They can replace, it's just the same information that's on the back pages of the orange book, but in a different order and with extended arpeggios and a little song that they transpose into all the keys. So it's just a more comprehensive approach to mastering those technical skills in all of the different scales. You could use it in addition to the back of the orange book or in replacement of it. So just another idea if you want to check out those scale packs. It's studio licensed, so you buy it once, you can print it for all of your students forever and ever. Now, if you're a piano teacher who's worked through Piano Adventures, I'm sure you've noticed that all of the books have these wonderful warm-up pages, like the ones we were just discussing except for level 3A. Why doesn't level 3A have any logical warm-up pages? Well, I talk about it in this video and give you some ideas on what to do for your students who are in level 3A who need some technical foundation and some warm-ups. Thank you for watching. I will see you on that video or another one very soon.